In the land of the Arabs, King Murtaz ruled with justice and generosity, sharing his abundance freely with his people. However, his son Zayak, ambitious and turbulent, fell into darkness. Eblis appeared before him as a charming figure, convincing him to betray his father. In the cover of dawn, Eblis dug a pit in the king's orchard, and Murtaz tragically fell to his death. Zayak seized the throne, falling under Eblis's wicked influence. Eblis returned, disguised as a skillful cook, offering to serve Zayak with exquisite dishes. First, he prepared egg yolks to strengthen the king, then crafted dishes made from partridge, pheasant, lamb kebabs, and veal enriched with saffron and rose water. Zayak, enchanted by the cook's skill, granted him any wish. Eblis humbly requested to kiss Zayak's shoulders, a seemingly innocent favor that Zayak agreed to. The moment Eblis kissed his shoulders, 2 black snakes emerged. These creatures regrew when cut off, and Eblis later returned, disguised as a wise physician, to advise Zayak. He said, "These growths were destined to appear, they cannot be removed. The only way to appease them is by feeding them human brains." Trusting this dark advice, Zayak set forth a gruesome command, beginning a sinister plan to diminish humanity. Meanwhile, Persia descended into chaos. King Jamshid, once blessed with divine far, lost the loyalty of his people and fled his throne under Zayak's attack. Zayak ruled for 1,000 years, spreading tyranny, fear, and darkness across the land. 2 of Jamshid's sisters, Arnavaz and Shahnameh, were taken captive by Zayak and made part of his court. Arnavaz, who was known for her beauty and grace, became one of Zayak's women. Despite her captive state, she often advised Zayak with wisdom, including interpreting his ominous dreams, as she sought to protect herself and her sister from his wrath. Amid this dark era, Ferdowsi was born, destined to challenge Zayak's reign. His father, Abedin, was murdered by Zayak's guards. Ferdowsi, Ferdowsi's mother, fled to the meadows, where she entrusted her infant son to a magnificent cow named Shahnameh, whose multicolored coat made her unique. For 3 years, Shahnameh nursed Ferdowsi, but Zayak's spies soon learned of her existence. Enraged, Zayak ordered her death and razed her meadow. In desperation, Ferdowsi fled to the Alborz mountains with her son, where she entrusted him to a wise hermit who raised Ferdowsi with great care. At 16, Ferdowsi demanded the truth about his lineage. Ferdowsi revealed his noble ancestry, the murder of his father, and the atrocities committed by Zayak. Overcome with fury, Ferdowsi swore to bring Zayak's tyranny to an end, vowing to raise the dust of battle over his palace. One fateful night, Zayak had a terrifying dream. He saw 3 warriors emerging from a grand palace. The youngest of them, as tall as a cypress tree, bore a radiant royal far and an ox-headed mace. This warrior struck Zayak on the head, tied his hands, and dragged him to Mount Damavant. Zayak awoke in terror, crying out so loudly that his palace shook. Arnavaz, alongside Zayak's attendants, sought to calm him and asked about the dream. Zayak revealed his vision, and Arnavaz, seeking to placate him, advised summoning sages and magicians to interpret its meaning. When they arrived, Zayak demanded the truth, threatening them with death if they lied. Trembling, one sage revealed, "A young man named Ferdowsi will rise against you, bringing your downfall as vengeance for the bloodshed you have caused." Consumed by fear, Zayak ordered a frantic search for Ferdowsi across the lands. However, his destiny was sealed. Ferdowsi, with God's help, prepared to end the reign of darkness and restore justice to Persia. Day and night, Ferdowsi's name echoed in Zayak's mind, filling his heart with terror at the thought of his downfall. One day, as Zayak sat on his ivory throne wearing his turquoise crown, he summoned the great men from across the lands to witness his reign. He spoke of his secret enemy and the impending danger that awaited him. To secure his rule, Zayak ordered the drafting of a testament declaring him a righteous and truthful king. Out of fear, the elders signed the document, endorsing Zayak's evil claims. In this tense moment, Kaveh the blacksmith entered the court, demanding justice. His sons had been taken as sacrifices to feed Zayak's snakes. Fearless, Kaveh confronted the king and demanded the return of his son. Shocked by Kaveh's boldness, Zayak complied but tried to manipulate him with flattering words, asking him to sign the testament. Kaveh, trembling with rage, read the document, tore it to shreds, and threw it at Zayak's feet. Then, alongside his son, he stormed out of the court into the marketplace. There, Kaveh raised his blacksmith's leather apron on a spear, rallying the people to rise against the tyrant. "If you stand with Ferdowsi, free yourselves from Zayak's chains." he shouted, inspiring an army to form around him. Leading this newly gathered force, Kaveh made his way to Ferdowsi's court. When Ferdowsi saw the apron, he took it as a symbol of hope and adorned it with brocade, jewels, and silk, transforming it into the Kaviani Banner. This banner became a shining beacon of justice, inspiring the people to unite against oppression. As the world held its breath, Ferdowsi prepared for the battle. He commissioned blacksmiths to forge a massive ox-headed mace, promising, with this weapon, I shall lay the monster beneath the earth and guide the world toward justice. Thus began the march toward a brighter future.